Well, the Middle East is blessed with 60% of the crude oil reserves and 40% of gas reserves. So, for example, Saudi Arabia alone, according to the BP Statistical Review, has 265 billion barrels of reserves. And then you got after that Iran 120 billion, you got Iraq about 112 billion, and Kuwait 100 billion. So when you look at all that, so the Middle East is where the oil wealth is, where the resources are, both oil and gas. Now, other than Russia, which ranks number one in reserves for gas, the second largest reserve is in Iran gas. The third largest reserve is in Qatar. And then Saudi Arabia follows next. So it means that in the long term, where other countries may be exhausting their oil and gas reserves, the Middle East will still have these reserves to have a major share where they can have a say in what happens about the prices and quantities that will be supplied. So in that, if you look at it that way, the Middle East is going to gain more and more importance in the future than what it is now, because without oil and gas, it is very difficult for any economy to industrialize, to generate electricity, to do all the development that they need to do. And this is the reason why the Middle East countries are thinking of investing large sums of money in further expanding their capacity for crude production and gas production. For example, now Qatar is number one in LNG supplies. They have even superseded Russia. While Saudi Arabia is number one in crude production, if you take it on that way. And now Saudi Arabia have increased their capacity to produce crude to 12.5 million barrels a day, which is very huge because they have this spare capacity. So when the other countries cannot supply their share after it is exhausted, Saudi Arabia will be resorting to their spare capacity. And where, for example, countries like Libya may, because of socio-political situation, things may get concerned about the production, the spare capacity can replace that. So because of this, the Middle East countries, if you study and analyze, you will see everywhere they are planning to increase the capacity of production. Iraq is planning to increase. Bahrain, as I explained, although small, is trying to increase. Saudi Arabia is increasing its capacity. Kuwait and UAE, all of them are doing it. So I can see that the Middle East will become, from this point of view, even more important politically and economically in the future.